starting with Derry, who keep an unchanged starting 15 this afternoon, and this in spite of the fact that in the semi-final against Meath, Colm Rafferty was substituted early on, while Gary McGill was replaced in the second half. However, the Derry management reverts to the status quo this afternoon. Rafferty returns at centre-half back, while McGill wears the number 12 shirt. By comparison, there are 3 alterations on the Tyrone lineup, 1 tactical, 2 enforced. The former sees Shawnee Myler return to right corner back in place of Paul Devlin. The enforced changes are caused by Adrian Kilpatrick's injury 2 weeks ago, and then, as now, his replacement is Plunkett Donaghy, while Dermot McNichol comes in for Eugene Heaney, injured in a car accident during the past week. So the scene is set on a national occasion. The referee today enjoyed countrywide notoriety last summer when he took charge of the 4 Meath Dublin games. Tommy Howard of Kildare, of course. And the decibel level raises a notch or 2, as it's Tyrone who play from right to left in the first half. Plunkett Donaghy with the wind at their backs in the opening 30 minutes. Kieran McKeever going back to gather. Angling one across here towards Gary McGill. And Faye Devlin has gone across straight away in a switch there to pick up Gary McGill.
Yes, the whole Tyrone backline has changed around to play on different players at this stage. Obviously, from knowing each other so well in the north, they have picked their men to mark.
Going to be a Derry free kick. Colm Rafferty's kick goes straight to Plunkett Donaghy again. Forward towards Eamon McCaffrey. Looks a good one. It's the opening point of the match. A point that will certainly settle down young Eamon McCaffrey from Tyrone as he gives his side the lead. Just a minute gone.
Well, that's a great point to settle down Tyrone, especially for Eamon McCaffrey, who was substituted the last day, and it'll give him a big boost of confidence to score a great point from 45 metres.
Damien McCusker, the Derry goalkeeper, towards Dermot Heaney. Over his head it goes towards Faye Devlin, operating at right half back in spite of the number 7 on his back. Brian Gormley was fouled. Referee has a very quick word there with the Derry captain, Henry Downey. So a free kick from just inside the 65-metre line. Noel Donnelly belting it towards the left-hand side. Gormley again, the player impeded initially, back towards Canavan, and he just manages to put it outside. It was a close enough one. The umpire was considering it, but Peter Canavan with the first wide of the match. It really is a very large crowd at Croke Park this afternoon, full of red and white, of course, which is going to make it rather difficult to determine fans of the 2 counties. Dermot Heaney can't hold on to it. The pressure being exerted by Tyrone in the early stages. Mac McGleanan now always seems to have a very direct approach to his football. Well saved. Damien McCusker linking up now with Colm Rafferty. Cut out here by Noel Donnelly. The half-backs for Tyrone snapping up everything that's coming their way. McCaffrey trying to judge it to a tee, getting in there ahead of the centre half-back. Another kick and another point. Well, he may have been substituted the last day, but Eamon McCaffrey has made a really marked impression on this match in the opening stages of the tie.
That ball played up by Noel Donnelly, who has picked up Anthony Tohill for Derry, playing at left half back, and a great ball up the field to Eamon McCaffrey. 2 points now, having been substituted the last day.
It's worth bearing in mind, of course, that the breeze is favouring Tyrone in the first half. Brian Gormley again. They come here with a big reputation. Likewise Derry, unbeaten, of course. Damien O'Hagan pursuing this one in here, but the other Damien McCusker out there first time. Now Danny Quinn, a powerful, thundering full-back. To Brian McGilligan. Knocked into space towards Joe Brawley. Tyrone Core. Towards Plunkett Donaghy. Coming back again to Dermot Heaney. Overcooking that pass to Henry Downey, putting his side in trouble. Now Peter Canavan progressing with a sweet left foot, and it creeps just inside magnificently. Another point for Tyrone. attacks, 3 points, just one wide, confirmation of the scoreline, and just 4.5 minutes gone.
Great point for Tyrone by Peter Canavan, who feels that he had a lot to prove after playing badly in the championship last year against Derry, but it was a very bad pass by Dermot Heaney which put Derry into trouble.
Gathering into the centre towards Enda Gormley, chased over there all the time by Shawnee Myler. Henry Downey steadying himself. Well, it was into the place where they were expecting Enda Gormley to be. The other Gormley, Brian Gormley for Tyrone. Tripped and the referee's whistle sounds. Faye Devlin's kick towards McGleenan. Judged beautifully, however, by Tony Scullion, one of the best cornerbacks in the business. Enda Kilpatrick fisting it down very wisely because Faye Devlin was there to help him. Now Plunkett Donaghy, middle of the field. Towards Damien O'Hagan, fisted away by Danny Quinn, only as far as the incoming Kieran Corr. Out to McGleenan. Tyrone have done all the scoring so far, leading by 3 points to 0. And you can make that now 4 points to 0. Matt McGleenan. Tremendous scoring. Well driven. Plunkett Donaghy and Brian McGilligan in pursuit. The injured player seems to be Dermot McNichol. He was pursuing that one, fell rather awkwardly, and attention now being called for the injured Dermot McNichol. McNichol looking very, very groggy indeed. So Seamus Downey may be on his way in. Meanwhile, Derry down to 14 players looking for their first score, and McGilligan trying to set it up for them with Joe Brawley there. Space at a premium, still Brawley trying to turn. Playing it back to Gary McGill, outside the 20-metre line, partially blocked. Runs on kindly, and Chris Lawn back there, the full back this afternoon in spite of the number 4 in his jersey. Picked it out as far as Henry Downey. Now Derry coming thundering forward. That's Coleman into Gary McGill, scoring chance, and finally, after nearly 12 minutes of play, Gary McGill has given Derry their first score of the game, 4 points to 1 in this Royal Ivor National Football League final.
Plunkett Donaghy will be very disappointed with that point for Derry, because he gave a very bad pass out there to Henry Downey, and when it comes in, Gary McGill had a chance maybe of a goal for a second, but I'm sure Derry will be happy to get off the mark.
So 3 points the margin, virtually Derry's first attack. Now Brian McGilligan becoming more assertive at midfield. Right through the centre it goes from Fergal McCusker, laying it on nicely to Enda Gormley. Now Dermot McNichol to show us that he's fit once again. A poor kick. Joe Brawley kept his eye on it all the way in there against Donnelly, and the referee meanwhile had whistled back the play. McNichol really screwed that attempt for a point well wide of the goal area. Tyrone will of course remember that his last gasp goal against them in the summer championship last year effectively settled the issue. So is this to be a secondary point? Going towards the left. 45 is the outcome. Chris Lawn, the number 4 there in the thick of the action. And Tommy Hardest consulting his umpire. Anthony Tohill lining up this 45, the first of the match. He'll be remembered for a particularly brilliant free kick down near the Nally stand area 2 weeks ago, here against Meath. Well, can he find the range here? Looking good. Stopped. But not prevented from going over the bar. Anthony Tohill then finding the range. His first point, Derry's second, and now just 2 points the difference.
Well, Anthony Tohill in the semi-final against Meath kicked frees well over 60 yards, so the breeze must be a significant factor. That one just got there from 45 metres out.
And the referee again calling for attention for Dermot McNichol. And he doesn't look to be quite happy with McNichol's state of health just at the moment. He doesn't want to go off, but I think the referee is concerned that he might possibly be suffering maybe mild concussion. Gary McGill regathering for Derry. Derry playing in the predominantly red shirts this afternoon. Now Enda Gormley foraging, linking up with McNicholl. Closed down by Faye Devlin. McNicholl again, playing the pass outside to Fergal McCusker, brother of the goalkeeper, and he's put just the bare minimum between the teams. A nicely worked point. McNicholl very much involved in it, but the accuracy of Fergal McCusker making it 4 points to 3.
Ball given away in the middle of the field by Kieran Carr, but Dermot McNicholl is obviously recovered from that injury. He's a very strong running player. Scoring is not his forte, and he lays it off very well to Fergal McCusker for his first point, and Derry would be happy enough to be in the position where they are now after starting badly.
One back there by Plunkett Donaghy. He incidentally is a cousin of Joe Brolly on the Derry team. That's sweetly out of defence towards Anthony Tohill. Pushed in the back. Noel Donnelly, the player who impedes him. Plunkett Donaghy again, gathering with some difficulty against Dermot McNicholl. Out to Faye Devlin. Kicked downfield by Shawnee Myler. On towards Matt McGleenan. The pass inside to Kieran Corr. Derry played here in an All-Ireland semi-final 3 years ago. Has a shot blocked down by Tony Scully and pushed in the back by Damien O'Hagan. Free kick to Derry.
Again, very good blocking by the Derry backs. The last 5 minutes there have been at least 4 kicks for scores blocked down by different Derry backs.
As you say, they've taken a little while to settle down, but they're settling to their task at this stage. Referee saw another piece of pushing. So another free kick. Enda Gormley, left-footed forward towards Dermot McNicholl. He might yet be a major influence for Derry in this game, with the whole of the second half still to come. On to Enda Gormley again, back to McNicholl, tripped. Oh, the personal foul there by Enda Kilpatrick, who of course has just been booked in this game, denying Derry what was certainly an almost certain score.
Good play by Derry there, working a short free. Ball given back to Enda Gormley. Probably takes too many steps, but gets away with it. Gives it off then to Dermot McNicholl, and Dermot McNichol's strongest point is him running at backs, and a lot of the time they can't do anything but foul him.
Tohill has kicked it over the bar on the sides level. Second point for Anthony Tohill, making it Derry 4 points, Tyrone 4 points, and 23 and a half minutes gone in the first half.
Finbar McConnell, probably the goalkeeper with the longest kick out in Gaelic football at the moment.
Just wants to replace it.
I saw him before the game setting up a little tee for himself there, so he's probably getting an advantage he shouldn't.
Huge reach in the air that time by McGilligan, just to deny Tyrone possession, but they have it back now in the figure of Shawnee Myler, taking the game towards the Derry backs. Peter Canavan way up from his corner forward position, 45 metres out, kicked well on its way, and it's another score for the brilliant Canavan. So Tyrone go back in front again. Whenever the ball fails to get to him in a left corner forward position, he likes to come roaming out the field to the half forward line, get on the ball, settle on it.
Good ball by Shawnee Myler to set up Peter Canavan. Tommy Howard nearly gets a block in on him, but Peter Canavan has the confidence to go for a long-range point.
Enda Kilpatrick in pursuit with Kieran Corr. Taken by Corr. Knocked forward Raymond McCaffrey. A player to his left-hand side. Corr once again if he wants to utilise him. Going forward, kicking, looking for his third point of the game. But miscuing. From the Errigal Kieran club, Eamon McCaffrey, that's in Ballygawley, and he's also a member of the Tyrone under-21 team. Indeed, they've got a final in Ulster coming up the end of May against Monaghan. McGilligan and Plunkett-Donaghy having quite a battle at midfield. Free kick to Tyrone. McCaffrey, the player who was fouled.
Tyrone, of course, getting most of the breaks from midfield, but it's easier when Derry are kicking the ball out, especially into this wind. It'll be more difficult the second half when the kicks will be longer.
So Adrian Cush sliding that one in, but just to the left. Still failing to get his name on the scoring sheet, a player that so many people have come here to Croke Park to see. Henry Downey here, who is the Derry team captain, still driving on his backline to deny Tyrone possession. Corr giving the call, I think, to Plunkett-Donaghy. Caught it beautifully, linking up now with his midfield ally. Good shoulder by McGilligan, just unsettling the Tyrone man momentarily. Comes back now towards Faye Devlin. Belted in, a one-on-one situation here. And Peter Canavan was clearly pushing. And even before Damien McCusker came out to test the jersey strength, the referee had whistled for a Derry free kick. And just for a moment there, the Derry backline looking particularly isolated.
Kicked across there by Faye Devlin, but it was a good decision by the referee. Peter Canavan was fouling Kieran McKeever. The Derry people are very confident that Kieran McKeever will handle Peter Canavan this afternoon, but Peter Canavan feels that he's a lot to prove because he played very badly in the Ulster Championship match last year. But the Tyrone forwards for the last 10 minutes are getting very bunched and leaving it much easier for the Derry backs to play them.
Just about 2 minutes to go to half-time, and Derry with Colm Rafferty directing operations over towards Enda Gormley's corner, getting in there ahead of Shawnee Myler. Pass forward here for Gary McGill. McGill still progressing, stopped. Faye Devlin going back. That's great wing-back play by Faye Devlin, and always be depended upon in a crisis. Henry Downey heard the call coming in from Brian McGillingham, going thundering forward. Up it goes. Now a chance here for Dermot McNichol, half blocked by Enda Kilpatrick, on towards Gary McGill again. Trying to set up a scoring chance for Joe Brawley perhaps. Over his head he hoops it in towards Fergal McCusker, stopped somehow and denied possession by Shawnee Myler, coming out of his back division. On to Brian Gormley, down to Plunkett-Donaghy, overhit the pass. Colm Rafferty having to go back, make absolutely certain, linking up with Tony Scullion. Out it comes again to Kieran McKeever. On towards Henry Downey, hurler come footballer. Anthony Tohill now, a good open piece of play this. Faye Devlin again blocking off the route to go. 5 points to 4 in favour of Tyrone, near half-time. Kieran Corr with a poor clearance out of defence, and Peter Canavan was powerless to keep the ball in play. Well, it's certainly an intense National League final, and there is so much for the fans to enthuse about, and still the whole of the second half to look forward to.
It's fairly noticeable that when it comes to physical contests too, that the Derry players are winning out. Tyrone will be giving away a lot of height and weight in a lot of areas of the field.
Dermot Heaney kicking the line ball deep. And the foul has been spotted by the referee. Shawnee Myler, the one I think who's been indicted. And it's going to be a free kick on the 13-metre line for pushing. Either Shawnee Myler or Chris Lawn, the one who committed the indiscretion. Academic really, because Anthony Tohill now can step up here to send the sides in at half-time level. It's an easy scoring opportunity. Should be, and it is. The leading scorer in the match, Anthony Tohill from Swatra. 3 points his tally as the game has ticked into injury time.
Well, Tyrone started off very promisingly, but in the last 10 or 15 minutes Derry have got very much to grips with the game and probably deserved to be level at half-time.
McCaffrey, who started the scoring spree, has the chance to finish the half with Tyrone in front. Eamon McCaffrey's third point. We've seen some great points from scores, from play in this match. Very few of the teams, neither team really depending on points from frees. It's been good and it's been open. Well, McCaffrey, we felt, had a point to prove to the selectors this afternoon, and they certainly made that. So in injury time, the referee calling for the ball. There was only a point between them when they met in the championship last year. Tyrone led at the end. And this afternoon here in the National League final, it's Tyrone who go in, leading by just a point. Half-time score, Tyrone 6 points, Derry 5. Come back to Croke Park, 6 points to 5 at half-time. Derry forced into changes. John McGurk has come in at right half-back in place of Colm Rafferty, who was injured in the first half. And Seamus Downey comes into full forward in place of Dermot McNichol. So now it's Derry, remember, with the aid of the breeze for the second half, trailing by a point. Kieran Corr, who had such a very good opening 30 minutes. Making a lot of headway. Scoring chance now. He did it all himself. An excellent score by Kieran Corr, who since his switch from half forward to midfield has certainly made a major impression in the Tyrone colours.
That score made by a very good block down by Enda Kilpatrick on Brian McGilligan in the middle of the field. And Kieran Corr, of course, who used to play at right half forward and well used to scoring.
McCusker's kick out. Enda Kilpatrick challenging that ball. Henry Downey now, who's operating at centre half back for Derry. Pursued the whole time here by Brian Gormley. Now John McGurk. Ran into a challenge there by Peter Canavan, which the referee decides was more in the nature of a sandwich. So McGurk having the option of taking the free kick himself, opting to take it. Towards Seamus Downey. Back foraging is Paul Donnelly for Tyrone. Ball given away needlessly. And Derry kicked themselves with the figure of Joe Browley. A fine point. His first score. Plays for the county champions in Dungiven. And now he's narrowed it back to a 1-point difference.
Joe Browley's first contribution to the game. Paul Donnelly's probably happy enough with the way he's marking him, even though I'd say the Derry supporters aren't too happy with the way Paul Donnelly is marking Joe Browley at the moment.
Tyrone perhaps giving the game away as to their marking alignment for this day fortnight when they meet in the championship. Brian Gormley ready to take the free kick for Tyrone, but being told just to take it easy. It's going to be Noel Donnelly who will take it. Wind into his face. 46 metres out. Damien O'Hagan struggling to contain the pass, giving it away however to Kieran McKeever. One of the best right cornerbacks in the match, in this game I should say. Cross to Anthony Tohill. Blocked down. Now Adrian Cush still striving to make a major contribution. Matt McGleenan against Tony Scullion, dispatching that ball to McCaffrey. Derry coping well, and that's McKeever with the clearance. I'm sure he'd have wished to have given a better ball away than that one. So 7 points to 6, these rival counties in a very tense final. Faye Devlin towards McGleenan, trying to get inside there. The danger signal spotted by an alert Brian McGilligan. Down it goes. Joe Brolly now. Enda Gormley calling for it to his left. The shoulder there from Plunkett Donaghy. The referee has whistled, however, for the foul initially by Paul Donnelly. Enda Gormley with a quick consultation there with Anthony Tohill to decide which of them is going to take it. It's going to be Tohill who'll kick it. So in the 4th minute of the second half, a free on the 45-metre line. Well within his range. Catches it delightfully. 4 points from frees now for Anthony Tohill. So level once again. McConnell's kick out. A huge one into the wind. Dermot Heaney tussling there with Kieran Corr. That's John McGurk going back, shouldered. Tohill, it's blocked down by Corr again. Runs on. Noel Donnelly held up momentarily. Free kick for Tyrone. And just allowing Eamon McCaffrey to come across and kick this one for them.
Anthony Tohill's last 2 attempts at kicks have been blocked down by Tyrone players. Eamon McCaffrey, not the normal free taker. It would usually be Peter Canavan on the left-hand side and Adrian Push on the right.
So attempting the free on the 45-metre line. McGleenan trying to fist it in field and injuring and fouling Kieran McKeever, who went down like a sack of potatoes. John McGurk was displeased, and you can see by his gesture there to referee Tommy Hard that he felt there was a deliberate fist to the face of McKeever.
Well, the free drop short in here, and Matt McGleenan punches it outfield, and when the ball gets back here to Kieran McKeever, that's a fist into him by Matt McGleenan. That's very much a book in the face offence, and I think that maybe Kieran McKeever played up on that one a little bit.
Well, he may have played up on it, but he certainly felt the effects of that thump there by Matt McGleenan. Plunkett Donaghy fisting it back rather than forward, putting his own defence in trouble. Tohill stopped by Faye Devlin. Excellent at wing back. Not a good clearance. May come good yet. Stopped here by Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman, of course, the son of the manager Eamon Coleman. Down towards Seamus Downey for Derry. Breaks loose towards Enda Gormley. Derry coming meaningfully forward now, looking for a lead point, and they get it to Enda Gormley. A first point of the match. 5 of the forwards now for Derry have scored, and Derry lead by 8 points to 7.
Derry beginning to take over this game a little bit. Enda Gormley very accurate off his left foot, but it was noticeable that Gary McGill was gone inside, and a very good chance of a goal if it was played inside.
Towards Gary McGill, held away by Faye Devlin. This is Cush now. Coleman. Good solo burst forward. Former Derry minor All-Ireland winning captain. Nobody able to get that particular pass. Partially blocked by Enda Gormley, but it still manages to make a fair distance out. Dermot Heaney. Kick it into Enda Gormley, transferred to Gary McGill. McGill raiding, striking, but he's put it wide. Chances going and begging at both ends.
Gary McGill should have stepped inside that tackle that was coming across, and he would have had a clear run in on goal.
Hall's kick. Kieran Corr fumbling. Picked up instead here by Fergal McCusker. Dropped across towards Joe Bronny's corner. Been marked the whole time by Paul Donnelly. The game requiring a few urgent scores now. Tyrone making the drive forward with McCaffrey here. Into McGleenan, chest high. There's a scoring chance here for Matt McGleenan. Right across the face of the goal, may come yet, it's a goal! Peter Canavan with the only goal of the game with 15 minutes gone in the second half. Well, we were just predicting that the match required scores. The opening goal has come with 15 minutes gone, and a delighted Peter Canavan sticks it into the back of the net.
Eamon McCaffrey under Henry Downey gets the ball in, and Matt McGleenan, as he has all afternoon, been out and wins possession. Goals for a point, no doubt about that. Peter Canavan in the right place and sticks it away low into the corner. A lucky break for Tyrone.
You just get the feeling, Colin, that Kieran McKeever will be a little bit displeased that he failed to cut that one out. But credit Canavan with being in the right place at the right time. So now Tyrone with their tails up, leading by 2 points, and Faye Devlin carrying the fight again into the Derry half of the field. Runs on towards Peter Canavan. Kieran McKeever going back, trying to make amends, pursued by Damien O'Hagan. Oh, out as far as Canavan once again. If they can stitch a couple of scores together here, they may well be in a very, very strong position. Brilliantly stopped by McCusker somehow. Well, that was a great save by the goalkeeper, Damien McCusker. Other goalkeepers, I think, would probably have given up on that one.
Shows the advantage of having a tall goalkeeper, because Damien McCusker was well over the crossbar to stop that ball going over for a point. But Kieran McKeever, a little rattled there by the goal, kicked the ball straight out to the man that he was supposed to be marking.
Into the middle of the field, it's picked up by Noel Donnelly. In this rugged physical contest, he picks up the free kick. Referee not allowing an advantage. A wearisome afternoon for Faye Devlin, but he's done well against Gary McGill. Plunkett Donaghy lofting it forward. Now McCaffrey. That's gone wide. 3 points in the first half for Eamon McCaffrey.
Tyrone need to make this period of supremacy pay, because Derry will come back at them.
Derry trying to win it again at midfield, where Plunkett Donaghy and Kieran Corr have been doing well. Foul conceded by Henry Downey. Plunkett Donaghy, of course, will be remembered as being part of the Tyrone team that played in the 1986 All-Ireland final here against Kerry. 7 points up in the third quarter, and still, of course, they went down that afternoon by 8 points. One Tyrone man, I'm sure, just looking at his watch and wondering whether or not the cup will be heading for his particular part of Ulster this evening. Plunkett Donaghy back on his feet. Play will resume with a free kick. Meanwhile, Derry taking the opportunity to bring in Declan Bateson, who'd been scoring very freely in the league campaign up to about the quarter-final stage. So when he comes, number 25 on his back. Threaded forward here by Noel Donnelly towards Adrian Cush. How he'd love to get on the scoring list. Good chance here. Derry nearly headed for the top right-hand corner of McCusker's net. I'm not too sure if he was in fact intending to go for a point or trying to cheekily hit the top corner of the net. But one way or the other, he has yet to score in the game. Tohill fisting it there with Noel Donnelly. Stalemate. Free kick for Derry, for Tyrone. On it comes to Noel Donnelly. That's going to curl in delightfully and come off the post. Comes down. Matt McLean leaving it there for Canavan, and Canavan strikes it over the bar. That's a goal and 3 points now for Peter Canavan, who's having a really good afternoon now against Kieran McKeever. I think he felt he could get the edge on McKeever in this particular match. Plunkett Donaghy. Up for Eamon McCaffrey. Had that really good first half. Pursued by Anthony Tohill. Fouled. But Tohill quite annoyed by the referee's actions, but there wasn't too much Tommy Hard could do about it.
Anthony Tohill becoming a bit frustrated at having a poor enough game, and has moved out to centre field, but has been followed there by Noel Donnelly, who I'm sure will be quite happy with the job he's doing.
Donnelly strikes it well. Kieran Corr keeping the ball in play. Angling one across towards Matt McLean, and Plunkett Donaghy coming in as well. Players calling for it. One of them is Eamon McCaffrey to his immediate right. Inside it's Enda Kilpatrick, the team captain, with 2 players down injured, going to... Stopped. Grouping again, that's Brian Gormley, I should say, and it's stopped by Damien McCusker. Two players still down injured, and the ball belted downfield. The referee still allowing play to continue. Plunkett Donaghy. Back it comes to Faye Devlin. And the referee, I think, will be glad that there is a pause in the play so that he can now ensure that attention is given to the two injured players. One of them looking a little groggy seems to be Kieran McKeever. He's on his feet again. So the trainers have been busy attending to the two injured players.
Long ball coming across. Brian McGilligan coming through with Plunkett Donaghy, and there was a clash of heads there between Brian McGilligan and Matt McLean.
Plunkett there in a challenge with Anthony Tohill, adjudged to have fouled the Derry number 10. So Derry, who won their championship match by a point last year, won 9-18. Struggling to get the scores, they might get one here. That's a brilliant save! Brilliantly saved by Finbar McConnell as he denies the substitute Declan Bateson.
Derry looking for a goal to save the game. The ball given in by Brian McGilligan and broken down by Seamus Downey. And Declan Bateson probably should have put it away, but Finbar McConnell out very fast and on his boot and blocks it with his feet. Great save.
Derry with the 45. That'll be worth seeing again in a moment, but first it's Anthony Tohill to curl it in. Again, it's in the back of the net, it's a goal! It's the equaliser! Tohill! An amazing goal by Anthony Tohill from the free kick. That's a goal and 4 points his tally.
Anthony Tohill of all coming in. Plunkett Donaghy across in front of his goalkeeper and blinded him and missed it, and then it was too late for Finbar McConnell to get his hands up.
I think it's Tohill who will take the credit one way or the other, but there will be questions asked about the defence. So Derry now, with the aid of that goal and a minute and a half remaining, it's John McGurk who'll take the free kick, centre of the field. It's anybody's game. The wind supporting Derry. Can they take their second league title? Tohill again, it's over the bar. A goal and 5 points now for Anthony Tohill. He'd been having such a quiet match apart from the frees which are so influential. But now that may well decide the destination of the Royal Ivor League tie. Derry by a point.
Well won there inside by Seamus Downey, and gives it back out to Anthony Tohill, and first point from play for Anthony Tohill for this game, and it could be a very valuable one.
And Enda Kilpatrick, who's already been booked in this match in a tangle with Enda Gormley, and it's going to be interesting to see just how the referee implements the personal foul rule here. Well, Tommy Howard, more concerned it seems about the injured player, who is Enda Gormley, who took the force of that from Enda Kilpatrick. The referee checking the watch. There isn't going to be even a chatting for the player who committed the foul. We're in stoppage time. Noel Donnelly will take the free. His side trailing by a point. Can they take it to a replay? Damien O'Hagan trying to burst his way through, stopped, still trying to scramble it, and it's Henry Downey who gets it out. Brilliantly taken, the centre half-back who started life this afternoon at right half-back. The team captain making the intervention. So Derry with Finbar McConnell. McCusker's kick. Stopped by Plunkett Donaghy. Driven forward towards Kieran Corr. Tyrone coming back against the Derry men. Still Kieran Corr. Stopped by Kieran McKeever. Derry leading by that point with a minute gone in injury time. Up towards Seamus Downey, fisted away by Chris Lohan for Tyrone. Onto Plunkett Donaghy. Outside it goes towards Paul Donnelly. The attack kept moving. This is Noel Donnelly way up joining the attack. And it is tailed away and it's gone wide. The cheers, the loudest cheers you can hear in Croke Park coming from the Derry supporters. The Tyrone men simply crestfallen. They had the match for the taking. They led by 3 points. They conceded that goal from the 45 to Anthony Tohill, and he snapped up another point a few minutes later. Damien McCusker, is there much time remaining, you wonder? Out as far as Brian McGilligan. Fergal McCusker didn't know too much about that one. Kept it going on to Joe Brolly. The Derry men finishing strongly. Seamus Heaney again, or Dermot Heaney I should say. Dermot Heaney. He's kicked it over the bar. What a time to get your first point of the match. No wonder the Derry supporters are in such joyous mood. Dermot Heaney makes it 110 to 1-8. It's been a gripping finale. It's all over, and Derry have won the National League for the second time. They bridge a gap of 45 years. 1947 they beat Clare, and 1992 they've come and they've beaten Tyrone by 1 goal and 10 points to 1 goal and 8.
Somebody sort of was asking me earlier about the famous Derry full back line. I mean, not only were they outplayed on the half back line, outplayed the midfield, half forward line and full forward line of Derry were outplayed today. So really, from that point of view, it was an excellent result for us, and surely really a heartbreak for Tyrone.
We kept plugging away, and they didn't put us away, so we knew we were still in the match. If we could get a goal, if we could get down the field. And Tyrone kicked 2 wide whenever they were 4 points clear, and I think that was that upset them then. We went down the field and got a lucky break and got a goal out of it. But I knew when we got that goal we would get an equaliser or get a winner, and it's only a matter of playing time out, so it was.
You were under pressure for a lot of that match. I mean, Tyrone certainly were dominant, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, well, Tyrone won a lot of ball at midfield, and they just were coming through in 4s and 5s, and we just faded away out of it for about 10-15 minutes, and then the last 5-6 minutes we pulled back into it. When we won a bit more ball, we tidied up that area.
I think it says a lot for the character of the team that we can play as bad as we did today, and we still kept at it, and we worked for each other, and we got the result in the end. But we know we'll have to go back now and go back to the training field now and try and work at it for Celtic Park, and hopefully we get a run in the championship now.
Did you think with just a few minutes left that you were home and dry?
Yeah, I did. I thought there might only been a minute left when Derry got the goal. And Finbar had just made a great save before that, and I thought that we had it when he made that save.
It's nice to win and play badly.
Yeah, it is. I think that today Derry played in spells. We let Tyrone get a 4-point cushion at the start of the game, and then it was before that they wouldn't play until they were 4 points ahead, and then we started to come back into the match. And in the second half, we only played for about the last 5 minutes, so we've got a lot of things to work on during the next couple of weeks.
Well, the scene is set perfectly for a real clash in Derry. Do you think you can come out with the same result?
Well, hopefully. You don't want to be. You don't want to sound overly confident. That you'd be foolish if you said something like that. But it's going to be a very, very close match. Tyrone will obviously be trying go out to prove that what happened to them today was a fluke, and I think it's going to be a great game, and hopefully that we'll have a similar result as we had today.